Hi and welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna do carrot cake. So the ingredients we're gonna use are the following. We're gonna start with 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, half of a teaspoon of baking soda, and half of a teaspoon of salt. Those are the dry ingredients that we're gonna need. And then we're gonna need 2 teaspoons full of vanilla, 1 1/4 of sugar, and we're gonna use 1/2 cup of buttermilk, 3 eggs, 1/3 of a cup of oil, 1/2 of a cup of coconut, 2 cups of carrot, and we shredded the carrot, and then we're gonna use half a cup of nuts, which in this one we're using almonds and pecans, and then we're using 1/2 a cup of pineapple, which it was fresh pineapple. I just cut it and took the juice out of it, and those are the ingredients we're gonna need to make our carrot cake. So now we're gonna start mixing all our wet ingredients. So the first thing we're gonna put in, it's our 1/3 cup of oil, and we use vegetable oil. And then we're gonna mix our half a cup of buttermilk, and we're gonna start mixing it slowly. And then we're gonna add the 1.5 cups of sugar. Sorry, not 1.5 cups, 1 cup and 1/4 of sugar. That's what we added. And then we're gonna add our eggs. And we're gonna mix that, and we're gonna add our 2 teaspoons. No, we added our 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and we're gonna give it a good mix. Now we're gonna add all our dry ingredients and mix them together. So we're gonna put the 2.5 cups of flour, and then we're gonna add the 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, half of a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 of a teaspoon of salt. And all this is our dry ingredients, and now we're gonna put them through the strainer and make sure that all these items are not clumpy and they went through nice and pretty. Okay, so now that we did our dry, and now we're gonna give it a little turn, make sure everything mixes well, all the dry ingredients. So just another thing, I added 1 cup of raisins to my ingredients, and then I added the nuts, and I mixed the raisins and the nuts together with a little bit of flour so they won't stick together and they won't go all the way to the bottom of our carrot cake. And that's optional. If you don't like raisins, you don't have to add them, but I decided to add raisins to my carrot cake. So now we're gonna mix our dry and wet ingredients together. So we're gonna start mixing slowly. We're gonna start adding a little bit of our flour. I'm just gonna be adding a little bit at a time. Now we're gonna let it mix for about 2 minutes. Make sure it gets a good mix in there. So see, there we go. That's what we want. We don't want it to be super. Um, so some of it's not fully mixed in there, but we're gonna fold the other items into our carrot cake ingredients. So that's perfectly fine. We're just gonna not whisk it. We're gonna mix it with this little spatula we have. So we preheated our oven at 350, and we're gonna cook our cake for 1 hour. So here we have our wet ingredients. We already mixed all the flour with the flour and the cinnamon and the sugar, and all the ingredients are mixed together. So now we're gonna add our half a cup of pineapple. We're gonna add, well, let's mix it around a little. So yes, we're not adding water to our ingredients because the pineapple and the carrots, they have a lot of moisture. So now here we have our carrot, and we're gonna fold it into our carrot cake mix. And now we're gonna add our coconut. It's dry coconut. If you don't like coconut, you don't have to add it. I like it, so I add it to my carrot cake. So now we're gonna fold it. And now we're gonna add the final, which is our nuts and our raisins. It looks beautiful. We just fold our ingredients into our and that's it. And we preheated the oven at 350, and we're gonna cook our cake for an hour. So now we have our pan that we're gonna cook. We're gonna use a bundt cake pan, and I added cooking spray, the non-stick cooking spray to it, and then we put flour so it won't stick. It'll be easier for us to take it out. So now we're gonna add our mix of our carrot cake, and then we're gonna put it in the oven for 350 and cook it for an hour. So here's our carrot cake mix, and now we're gonna put it in the oven for 1 hour. And we preheated our oven while we were mixing everything together. We preheated our oven, so now we're just gonna put it in the oven. So there it is. So now we're gonna work on our cream cheese for our carrot cake. So we're gonna add 1.5 of butter, and we're gonna mix our butter. So we're gonna mix our butter, and then we have cream cheese. So we're gonna add a whole pack of cream cheese. It's I believe it's let me see how many ounces. 8 ounces of cream cheese. I'm not gonna make a lot of it. I'm just gonna make a little bit. But if you want to make a lot of it, you just double the recipe. So we use 8 ounces of cream cheese. So now that our butter's nice and mixed, we're gonna add the cream cheese. And everything's at room temperature. So if you see the cream cheese, it's easy to separate. We've been having it in the counter since where we're gonna start baking our carrot cake because we want it to be at room temperature. We're gonna give it a good mix, and when it's ready, done mixing, we're gonna add our powdered sugar. So see, our cream cheese and our butter's already nice and mixed. It looks beautiful. So now we're gonna add a cup and a half of powdered sugar, or glass sugar they call it. So we're gonna turn this off and add the sugar. And we wanna make sure our sugar incorporates nice and slowly, because if not, and then we're gonna have to cover our mixer, because then you're gonna have sugar flying all over the kitchen. So I'm gonna cover and then mix. You see, now we put it on really slow so it can mix the powdered sugar into our cream cheese and butter. So now we're gonna mix it a little bit higher. We did it slowly because we don't want to have powdered sugar all over the kitchen. And then we're gonna cover it and let it rest until our cake is done and cool down, and then we're gonna put it on top of our cake. I just did a little bit of cream cheese for the top of my cake, but if you want more, because I don't put a lot of it, I just put a little bit on top, you just double the recipe. So you put double two sticks and a half of butter, and then 2 sticks of 8 ounces of cream cheese, and then you double on your, I just put 1 cup and a half of powdered sugar, so you double it. You will put 2 cups and a half of powdered sugar if you want to double the recipe, because I try to be as light as I can when it comes to sugar, but that's why we just made a little bit. But like I said, just double the recipe and you'll be good. So now we're gonna let it rest, turn it off and let it rest, and we'll be ready for the top of our carrot cake once it's done baking and cooled down. So look how beautiful our cake is. We just took it out of the oven and we're gonna let it cool down, and then we're gonna take it out and then we're gonna put the icing on it once it cools. So see, we put a little stick in it and it's completely dry. And you know that your cake is done when it starts to separate from the pan. So you can see the separation in the pan. So we're gonna let it cool for a little bit. So here we are, our cake already chilled. So we're gonna turn it over and we're gonna put it in this, because we're gonna put the icing on top. But look how beautiful it looks. Now we're gonna put our icing on our cake. It looks beautiful. I can't wait to taste it. I'm assuming it's gonna be delicious. And here we go. I'm just adding some icing on the outside of our carrot cake. And we're almost done. So see, we even have icing left over. I think that was good enough. the amount that we made. Even though I thought I felt that I was making too much. I mean, a little bit, not enough. And now we just have this little spot here. And there we go. Our beautiful carrot cake. And we already put some icing on it. And we're gonna sprinkle some nuts on top of it. And that's it. We have our beautiful carrot cake ready to go. And we're gonna cut it and give it a try. So now we're gonna cut our cake, our carrot cake, and try it out. Get a little piece. Nice and soft. It's falling apart. It's so soft, it's falling apart. Look at this. So this is my carrot cake recipe. Hope you like it. We're gonna try it. I'm gonna get some icing. Delicious. I can't stop eating it. Thank you for coming to my channel. Any comment, let me know. I appreciate all your comments. And here it is, my delicious carrot cake recipe.